some of America's finest forensic pathologists, medical people who perform autopsies and who have worked for the federal government in the past on critical cases in the Washington, D.C. area, stood by their telephones that evening when the president's body was returned to Washington, D.C., but they were never called. Instead, the individuals in charge of the autopsy selected two administrators, individuals who had rarely performed autopsies, to come in and perform one of the most important autopsies in this century.
I don't hesitate in criticizing, not because criticism of the autopsy puts the lie to the Warren Commission reports. I've seen many ridiculously incompetent, inadequate, woefully incomplete medical legal autopsies over 25 years of consultation in death cases throughout the country. And I must say that in many of the instances it doesn't wind up making much difference because the basics may be there. In this case, however, the lack of competence, the lack of thoroughness, the lack of precision of the autopsy all enable us to demonstrate that the Warren Commission's conclusions are inaccurate. I would say, without exaggerating, that this was one of the worst medical legal autopsies that I've ever seen.
The president got an autopsy that wouldn't have been acceptable for a Bowery bum. But Oswald got an autopsy fitting of a president. There aren't real questions about Oswald's autopsy, and there are nothing but questions about the president's autopsy.
L'emplacement exact de la blessure postérieure est également sujet à controverse. Sur ce croquis, établi selon les indications des médecins légistes, elle se trouve à la base du cou, ce qui permet de soutenir l'hypothèse de la balle unique, puisque le projectile doit obligatoirement être entré à un point situé au-dessus du niveau de la gorge pour avoir une trajectoire lui permettant ensuite de frapper le gouverneur Connally un peu en dessous de l'aisselle droite. Un certain nombre d'éléments contredisent cependant cette version et situent la blessure beaucoup plus bas, non pas sur le cou, mais dans le dos de Kennedy.
In any investigation of this kind, in any investigation of a homicide, one of the most important pieces of evidence is the death certificate. What the certificate of death, signed by the president's own physician, says with no ifs and buts, is that the president was shot at the level of a third thoracic vertebra.
Cette constatation est confirmée par le relevé de rapport d'autopsie, qui indique lui aussi une lésion au niveau de la troisième vertèbre dorsale. Exécuté par les médecins lors de l'autopsie, ce croquis montre clairement que le projectile n'est pas entré par le cou de Kennedy, mais dans son dos, une quinzaine de centimètres plus bas. Cette constatation est confirmée par les trous relevés sur les vêtements du président Kennedy. Ces photos montrent bien que la balle est entrée ou sortie non pas où l'affirmait la commission, mais quelques 15 centimètres plus bas.
The autopsy doctors lied when they said that the wound was not in the president's back, but was in his neck where it joins the shoulder. There is no way that they could have made that mistake by accident. You can't possibly make a mistake. The death certificate itself says that it was at the third thoracic vertebra. The body chart they made during the autopsy shows that it's 4 inches lower than they testified to. The holes in the president's clothing shows that it's where the body chart says it is where the death certificate says it is. There is no evidence that the bullet was not in the president's back, and there is no way they could have made that mistake innocently.
Les médecins devaient cependant mentir sur l'emplacement de la lésion afin d'étayer la thèse officielle d'un seul assassin.
They moved the bullet hole up several inches to make it fit in with the scenario of Oswald having done the shooting from the 6th floor window. The sketch made on the night of the autopsy showed the bullet hole almost 6 inches down below the level of the top of the shoulder, and yet the bullet emerged from the level of the thyroid cartilage, the Adam's apple. They didn't know that, however, you see, when they made the diagram, because they never knew that there was a bullet hole in the front of the president's neck. They thought it was just a surgical incision, a tracheostomy. It was that, but the tracheostomy had been made on top of the bullet hole. And now when they learned that the hole in the front of the neck was also a bullet hole and it was at the level of the knot of the tie, then they couldn't have a hole 6 inches down below the crest of the shoulder and have Oswald doing the shooting from the 6th floor window of the Texas School Book Depository. So they simply moved it up to the crest of the shoulder.
There was no possibility of anything like this happening if anybody was tried, Lee Harvey Oswald or anybody else. But since they immediately decided without any investigation that Oswald was a lone assassin, once Jack Ruby killed Lee Harvey Oswald, there was nothing to go to trial, and that's when the autopsy revisions began, when the prospector found out that Ruby had killed Oswald.
La mort de Oswald allait avoir une influence déterminante sur la rédaction du rapport d'autopsie. C'est ce qu'a appris par la suite Harold Weisberg.
There was nothing about the autopsy that wasn't unusual, including where Dr. Humes wrote it. Understandably, he worked late at night, early in the morning at the Navy Hospital. Instead of going back to his office and working there the next day, he just got everything that he could and went to his, what more appropriate place can you have? His recreation room. And in his recreation room, he wrote out an autopsy report. He just finished writing out, this is his testimony, by the way. He just finished writing his report out when he hears on television that Oswald's been killed. Well, you might ask, what difference does that make to his report? There's only one sense in which he can make a difference. And that is, he knows very well there's not going to be any trial of Lee Harvey Oswald. He's dead. So Dr. Humes said he rewrote the autopsy and burned the original draft.
Le fait que le docteur Humes ait fait disparaître la première version de son rapport, fait reconnu et certifié par le médecin personnel de Kennedy, ne suscita aucun commentaire de la part de la commission Warren. Nous ne saurons jamais ce que contenait le document détruit, mais une chose est claire. Une fois Oswald mort, toute éventualité d'un procès étant écartée, les médecins légistes ont délibérément menti sur l'emplacement de la blessure postérieure de Kennedy. Or, une telle falsification était absolument nécessaire si l'on voulait accréditer la thèse selon laquelle Oswald avait agi seul. La principale preuve matérielle produite par la commission à l'appui de sa théorie est une balle retrouvée sur un brancard à l'hôpital de Parkland. Ce projectile, la pièce 399 du dossier, correspondait, selon les experts en balistique, au type de munition de l'arme qu'aurait utilisé Oswald. C'est le seul élément qui permet d'incriminer directement ce dernier dans l'attentat. Il ne pouvait s'agir de la balle perdue, ni de celle qui avait éteint le président à la tête, puisque celle-ci avait éclaté en plusieurs morceaux. Il fallait donc, pour que la théorie de la commission reste crédible, que ce soit le projectile responsable de toutes les autres blessures. Restait à expliquer pourquoi il était aussi peu abîmé.
As of the time that bullet reached the FBI laboratory, Robert Fraser is the ballistics examiner who got it. It was almost perfect. It was slightly flattened at the end that is attached to the shell, the back end of the bullet. It wasn't flattened much, but it was flattened there. Fraser testified to its condition when he received it, when he was a witness before the Warren Commission. And I'm paraphrasing his testimony, but it is roughly this, that if that bullet had struck coarse cloth or leather, he would have expected to find microscopic marks on it, and there were no such microscopic marks. Now, I'm not trying to palm myself off as an FBI expert, but I was a soldier. I fired pistols, I fired rifles, I had my own, I fired them. When I was a young man, I used to shoot tin cans, pieces of wood, things like that. I have never seen a bullet hit anything without being marked up, and if it hits anything hard, it's going to be deformed in varying degrees. This bullet doesn't have a scratch on it.
Les témoins cités par la commission étaient eux-mêmes fort réservés sur ce point. Tous les experts médicaux, notamment, s'accordèrent pour dire que le projectile 399 ne pouvait pas avoir causé les 3 blessures de Connolly.
This bullet is too pristine for a bullet that had shattered a rib and also badly shattered the radius, which is a good, strong bone. I am sure that the bullet that inflicted these wounds on Governor Connolly was fragmented much more than this bullet shows.
En avril 64, la commission réunit un groupe d'experts en balistique chargé d'étudier si le projectile en question avait pu parcourir le chemin supposé tout en restant en parfait état. Des tests furent conduits avec des balles du même type qui furent tirées dans la cage thoracique de chèvres et à travers les poignets des cadavres humains. Les balles employées subirent des déformations considérables.